Detective Romano. Good afternoon. Could you state your full name, yours of the agency, and your current assignment?
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Romano. What
was your role in regards to the police shooting that occurred on December 17, 2009?
I was fourth member of time and co-police unit that investigated the case.
You were not the initial assigned primary investigator, correct? Can you explain why you are acting in that role?
Yes, ma'am. The lead detective is Rodney McKinney. He's out of town to the train.
Did you prepare or have prepared a presentation for the sake of reviewing this case?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is the officer-involved incident that happened at 3400 block of Loretto Road on December 13, 2009. The officer-involved Sergeant J.T. Carey is ID number 7351. Date of employment is May 13th of 1991. He is assigned to patrol in Zone 3 Blue Squad. Shooting summary of the incident on December 14, 2009 at 0241 hours, 2:41 in the morning. Officers R.S. Holmquist and P.J. Doherty dispatched to 12043 Southerland Drive for a signal 4 criminal mischief involving a listed subject in Neil Southerland. Prior to their arrival, responding officers were informed the subject had fled the scene in a truck with a trailer in tow, and he was last seen headed south on Hood Landing Road. Officer Holmquist and Officer Doherty encountered the subject's truck while en route to the called intersection of Hood Landing Road and Old St. Augustine Road. Officer Holmquist attempted to initiate a traffic stop at the intersection. However, the subject refused to stop his vehicle. Officers Holmquist and Doherty pursued the subject vehicle as it turned north onto Old St. Augustine Road. During the pursuit, Officer Doherty reported that he observed the subject leaning over in his seat. The pursuit continued west on the Loretto Road with the subject vehicle increased speed, turned north onto Lofton Alley, and then east onto Purdon Lane. While traveling east on Purdon Lane, the subject vehicle came to a stop, reversed direction, and backed into Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle, which is unit number 2674. The vehicle pursuit continued as the subject vehicle fled the scene of the collision on Purdon Lane and turned south onto Winford Lane, and then east onto Loretto Road. Upon reaching the 3400 block of Loretto Road, the subject vehicle again came to a stop, reversed direction, and backed into Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle a second time. The force of the collision caused the trailer attached to the subject vehicle to travel up and over the push bumper attached to the front of Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle. The trailer traveled up the hood of the patrol vehicle, stopping within inches of the front windshield. At the time of the collision, Officer Doherty had passenger Mr. Halstead, seated in the right front passenger seat of the vehicle. Officer Doherty exited his patrol vehicle immediately after the collision, leaving Ms. Halstead inside. Officer Doherty ran up to the driver's side window of the subject's truck and ordered the subject out of the truck. The subject refused to comply. Officer Doherty proceeded to break the driver's side window of the subject's truck with his flashlight. Officer Holmquist exited his vehicle, approached the subject's truck, and joined Officer Doherty. Both officers then reached into the truck through the broken window and grabbed hold of the subject in an effort to extract him. Within seconds, Sergeant J.T. Carey arrived in the area and reported that he observed the subject's actions as he was approaching the scene. Sergeant Carey reported that after the collision, the subject continually attempted to flee the scene by placing his vehicle into drive and reverse in an effort to free the trailer. However, the trailer had become lodged on the push bumper of Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle. Sergeant Carey exited his patrol vehicle and approached the subject's truck. He reported that as he was approaching the truck, he observed a civilian observer seated in the front right passenger seat of Officer Doherty's vehicle. Sergeant Carey further reported that the trailer attached to the subject vehicle was in continuous motion while the officers struggled with the subject. Sergeant Carey reported that he proceeded to the driver's door of the subject's truck and directed Officers Doherty and Holmquist to disengage from the subject. Sergeant Carey reported that he yelled at the subject that he would shoot him if he did not stop. Sergeant Carey reported that the subject refused to comply and continued to rev the vehicle's engine. Sergeant Carey reported that he stepped forward and fired multiple shots at the subject. The subject was struck multiple times and immediately dropped to the pavement. Rescue personnel responded to the scene and determined the subject was deceased. Who's the subject involved in this incident? His name is Neil Southerland. He's a white male. Date of birth is May 25th of 1979. 6 feet tall, 148 pounds. The J so number up there means he has a local arrest record with us. Criminal history consists of 2001 of burglary, 2002 felony fleeing a police officer where a warrant was issued, 2005 criminal mischief, 2007 assault and battery, it was a domestic situation, and in 2008 he had a disorderly intox arrest. Here's a timeline of events that happened that night. 2:40 in the morning, we get our 911 call in reference to the criminal mischief case.
Hey, 911, boy. Yeah, unfortunately, Brad has a vehicle in the road. What's your address? 12843 Lane Road. 12843. 12843. Good name. We got a vehicle call right now. You said Lane? Who Lane? Spell that one first. It's 12843 Good Lane Road. Good Lane. Yes, sir. This is not proper trailer. That's trailer. He's on private property on one. Private. He's on the front yard now? Yeah. He's a frame rider, and he's carrying my vehicle truck all the hill. He's lying to do it. He's mad, now he's getting in his truck this one out. He's got a E-cab trailer with a tractor on the back of it.
A little over 3 minutes later, Officer Holmquist spots the vehicle in India 366 and he initiates a traffic stop.
India 366, your activity on that vehicle at Southerland, St. Augustine. Florida tag Romeo 679 XL Echo.
A few seconds later, comes up on the radio, reports the vehicle's not stopping, and then you hear Officer Doherty will come up and report the driver leaning over in his seat.
Yeah, you see that look like he's stopping when he's turning on the road.
On 1003 for India 366, landing in St. Augustine.
Hey, Robert, he's leaning over in his seat.
About 4 minutes later, Holmquist comes up, describes the vehicle as swerving. The second, number 2 here, is the lieutenant coming up on the radio and verifying that he thinks it's what he says is signal 1, which is a drunk driver.
He's coming 8 for 94, he is swerving on the road. India 366, 172, you believe him to be possible signal 1? Yes, sir, I do. He's about to.
A few seconds later, Officer Doherty comes up on the radio and says that the suspect is backed into his vehicle.
Hey, for 94, he just backed into my police car. He's now back, heading on the railroad towards St. Augustine. Go, go, go.
Approximately 30 seconds later, Sergeant Carey comes up on the radio and says, take him out with a gun.
172, 561, 18 by the police. Hey, for 94, he just backed into my police car. He's now back, heading on the railroad towards St. Augustine. Go, go, go. Take him out with the gun.
A few seconds after that is when you hear Sergeant Carey come up on the radio and advise the lieutenant that someone's been shot up.
172, 561, 18 by the police.
The aerial photograph of the scene a couple days after the incident. The railroad goes east and west. Going this way is west, coming this way is eastbound. Costa Road. Sunday had family that lived on Costa Road. He lived there too. Evidence technician diagram of the scene that night. You'll see all the vehicles are marked. Lieutenant Ico, Sergeant Carey's vehicle, Officer Holmquist's vehicle, Officer Doherty's vehicle. This is the subject vehicle. He is in the eastbound lane of Loretto Road. Evidence that's in the circle 1 through 7 is all spent 40 caliber shell casing. This is the scene at night looking westbound. Window shattered with only a few pieces of broken glass attached to the frame. That window was broken out by Officer Doherty. The deceased was positioned on the road beneath the open door of the driver's door of his truck. And once again, the location of all the vehicles. The trailer was clearly lodged on top of the push bumper of Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle. Furthermore, it was evident that the weight of the trailer was causing the front end of the patrol vehicle to sag. You can see the front end of the patrol vehicle is the nose was pushed down. The highest point of paint transfer on the hood was within 9.75 inches of the front windshield of the patrol vehicle. You see the paint transfer on the hood itself, and that's a good photo of how the trailer was actually hooked onto the push bumper. Here's Officer Doherty's patrol vehicle hood. See all the paint transfer is all the way up. There's 3 bullet strikes to the door frame. There's blood found on the door, probably from the officers who broke the window. Here's their injuries. Officer Holmquist had abrasions on his left forearm. Doherty had on his right, underneath his forearm, that's an abrasion. Inside the vehicle, when it was searched, there was 34 .22 caliber rounds inside of a piece of luggage. Also in the glove box were 2 rounds that were in a cigarette carton or cigarette box. There were 38 special. There was no firearm inside of the vehicle. Right on the floorboard from the center was this cobalt razor knife. Underneath the driver's side, the passenger side of the seat, there was a hammer. These are the dowels that were placed into the driver's seat by the evidence technician. Direction of travel would be this way. And then there was a projectile taken out of the armrest. Civilian observer Christy Halstead was interviewed by Detective Stuckey at the scene. Ms. Halstead informed Detective Stuckey she was riding as a civilian observer with Officer Doherty at the time of the incident. She said that she was doing a ride-along due to her interest in law enforcement. Ms. Halstead stated she had finished her ride-along and Officer Doherty was in the process of taking her to a vehicle when he got the call of criminal interest complaint. Ms. Halstead stated they drove to the location of the incident and the officers saw the subject's vehicle. She stated the subject was driving a pickup truck that was pulling a trailer with a tractor on it. Ms. Halstead stated the officers tried to stop the truck, and the next thing she knew, they were in a car chase. She stated they went into a neighborhood and the subject stopped, put his truck in reverse, and backed up, striking in front of Officer Doherty's police car. Ms. Halstead stated the subject then took off and drove down the street they were just on. She stated the truck then slammed on its brakes in the middle of the road and came to a stop. Ms. Halstead stated the truck then backed up again, this time hitting the police car and harming. Ms. Halstead stated she was sitting in the front passenger seat when the trailer came up onto the hood of the police car and it looked like it was coming through the front windshield. Ms. Halstead stated Officer Doherty and the other officers then ran up to the subject's car and she heard gunshots. She stated that she didn't get out of the car until everything was over and Officer Doherty came to check on her. Detective Stuckey asked Ms. Halstead if she could see or hear what was going on at the time of the shooting. She stated her view was blocked by the trailer and she could only see the officer standing by the truck. She stated she didn't hear anything being said by the officers because her window was up. Detective Stuckey asked Ms. Halstead if she was injured, and she stated that she was not injured. She was just, quote, scared to death when the trailer was coming at me, end quote. I interviewed Sergeant Haberman at the scene, who stated he arrived at the scene just after the vehicle pursuit ended. He stated he stopped his vehicle behind Sergeant Carey's vehicle. Sergeant Henry stated he observed Officer Doherty on foot and trying to carry approach the driver's side area of the vehicle.